So I'm the general manager at Xavier Knight. I've been here for nearly 9 years. Um, and when I joined the company, I was maybe employee number 8. And since then, we've grown. We are a team of engineers. We specialize in 3 different disciplines, structures, civil, and facade. Primarily our work relates to the design of buildings. So yeah, tall structures. My role has evolved over that time. So when we had 8 people to 50 people, the requirements of the business have changed. Um, and so I've had the opportunity to be very involved in lots of the pieces of the business and different functions of the business.
Tell me a little bit about what inspired you and the team to work with Ryll. Where were you at the point where you decided, hey, we actually need to bring someone on from a strategic standpoint? And then what led you to decide to work with Ryll?
Yep. So I've worked closely with Ferris over that time that I've been at Xavier Knight. And we've had different people within the business in leadership roles that have also sort of formed, come together, and we've formed a team to provide, I guess, strategic direction and implementing strategic plans over that period of time. We have worked with business coaches as well in the past. Earlier this year, and maybe sort of reflecting on the last 12 months, we hadn't done a lot in terms of strategic work. And it was, we were just sort of running the business, putting out fires, trying to stay afloat. And while that's fine for a certain period, there gets to be a point where people really need some type of strategic direction. It's not enough just turning up to work and getting work done, but it's more about having some real clear goals that we're all working towards, and then being able to pat ourselves on the back and really celebrate the successes in that way. My first experience with Ryll was based on me looking at her website, going through all the material on her website before I even had a conversation with her. And I would say that experience really set a positive um, starting point. And the key things for me was that she gave away information. So I went on her website and she had her 9 areas of strategy, or nine different functions within a business, and the key things to look at. And I felt like that was unique, and I value that a lot. When I can see that someone is willing to give without, us having to pay for it. Because I think in the past, like we've worked with business coaches or consultants in the past. You sort of go in blind. You really don't know what they're like until you're in. And then obviously, I had a conversation with Ryll just to sort of understand her approach and understand things. And she's very persuasive, very confident, and basically told me that I needed her. And I said, and I came out of that conversation, I said, Ferris, you need this lady.
We do need
Yeah, it's true. We need her. So, and look, at the end of the day, like my job was to sort of like come up with some options, and that for me, like I appreciated that opportunity to do that, because what I was hoping to avoid is experiences that we haven't had in the past, and having a coach that maybe Ferris connects well with, and talks about the things that he's very passionate about, but misses the other 50%, which is not super sexy, but it's critical to a business. So if we're both going to be running the business and we're both going to be leading the business, so there really needs to be someone that has that broader understanding. And that was something that I felt that Ryll understood.
So, what were some of the key things that Ryll just got in when she said to you, you need me? And you said, yeah, we do actually. What were some of the things that she just, as soon as you started working with her, she just got in and helped you guys unpack straight away?
What I think we did really unpack were the really important things that needed attention and needed to be focused on. Um, I I think that there a lot of those focus areas we knew, but in the mix of everything else that we were doing, they weren't prioritized. And having those conversations with Ryll really helped us to be very clear around what is the most important thing for us to be focusing on now in order to get where we want to go. So otherwise, I think, and often what we've done in the past is we've listed, okay, we've got 20 things that we need to fix or improve in our business. And because there's 20 things, nothing gets done.
Yeah, there's no focus.
That's right, there's no focus, or little bits of everything get done and it doesn't really progress and then it dies off because there's not that feeling of achievement. I would say the first thing would be around clarity to what we need to be working on immediately and in the short-term future to arrive at some of those results. So, for example, when it comes to delivering work, making sure that we have a pipeline of work that is clearly forecasted, clearly planned out, so that at the start of each month, we are confident that we have enough work on the books to be allocated to the team. Then at the end of that month, we will be billing enough to meet our revenue targets, for example.
It's so incredible to see how your vision and Ferris's vision, and also the reflections, even in just the short time that I'm getting to speak with both of you, are so aligned. So Ferris, the first thing he shared about tangible results were leads increased by 30% in 6 months. And I'm hearing that reflection in what you're saying too. And then he also shared that profit increased by anywhere from 15 to 20%. Thinking about increase of work, increase of proposals, and efficiency and team efficiency and increase of profit, how do those changes in your business directly impact your life? How do they impact your team's life? Take me through the transformation there.
I think working in an operations role within a very technical business, we don't always get the same sense of satisfaction that
Yeah.
a technical person would get delivering a project. So, we'll have an engineer that comes up with an amazing design, it gets delivered, it gets built, and they get a big pat on the back, right? But in operations, being a very supportive type of role, we don't always have those same accolades, I guess, and that same recognition. So I think for me, and I think also for a lot of my team, the way that we see success is in terms of how we can contribute to the business, is around how efficient we can make processes or help the team. It's about seeing certain numbers change, which may not always seem to be directly related to us, but we know we've played a part in all the different areas that we've been working on with Ryll, and that's even from an employee engagement perspective. So my HR manager, for example, some of the things that we've implemented since working with Ryll, starting to work with Ryll, I think that's given her a level of personal satisfaction in her role as well.
As a result of all of this kind of strategic vision, you've been able to forecast, like future forecasting. How are you feeling about the future of Xavier Knight now? And do you think you might feel that same way, or do you think you might feel differently had you not had the opportunity to work with Ryll as a mentor, as your mentor?
Yeah, I definitely think that since working with Ryll, there is a greater level of confidence to where we're going, and also a greater level of confidence that we will get there. So yeah, I've really enjoyed working with her and continue enjoying and am continuing to enjoy that journey, because the objective that we set out to achieve with having someone like Ryll being involved in our business, I feel like this is the closest to what I've hoped to achieve compared to anyone else that I've worked with. So yeah, I have a much more confidence that we're going to achieve some of these things that we have set out to achieve. Yeah.
So, what would you say to someone who might be on the fence working with Ryll?
No one can be on the fence if they've spoken to her. I would say that my experience with Ryll has been very different to other consultants or coaches in the past. Um, she's not going to just pat you on the back.
Yeah.
She will come in and help you transform your business, help you set goals and achieve those goals. And I think her input and her advice and her guidance is very practical, um, and holistic as well. So she really is across all those different areas of the business. She might not know the business in detail in terms of the speciality that you're in, but that hasn't caused any problems. I mean, working with an engineering firm that's very specialized, we have still seen a huge amount of value from what she's had to offer.